Hey y'all, Dakota Franson here. It's morning update. I know I've been try to do things a little bit more regularly, but let's face it, life's irregular. Especially in these last 5.5, 6 years. What the fuck? Hold on a minute. There was a light right about there that just popped up and disappeared. Come back! Not you. The light in the sky. I want that to come back, fucker. Damn it. Seriously, one of these days I gotta do like a little tutorial video on how to quickly assemble yourself when you think you're spotting a potential UFO or paranormal anomaly. Because let's face it, I imagine there's probably quite a few of you who see these videos who either think I'm completely nuts or you're a lot like me. You do try to document properly when it comes to these types of sightings, to where investigators from all sides are willing to play ball with you. But the moment when your brain starts to register and you may have something paranormal going on and you get your equipment out, that's enough time for something to go away. Totally not what I was planning on for this video, but I also feel like little moments, raw moments like that it allows me to show reality. And I think that's something a lot of us want to either lose sight of or feel like we have a lot more control lately. So what's the purpose of this little morning update, right? You're probably wondering, Dakota, what you rambling on about? Fucking fat fingers. Sorry, I have a certain setting turned on my phone to use it as an audio enhancer for like EVP sessions and shit. And my fat fingers kept pressing the button, which turned off the fucking earlier videos. So, what am I trying to say here? Shut up. Anyway, so on my way home from work the other day, something happened. And let's just say it could have very well put me in a very dangerous situation had I not timed everything, had some higher power obviously looking out for me to be able to pull it off as safely as effectively as I have. So here's a little update for y'all for what's coming up here soon. Remember how I said, now that the weather's getting a little nicer, I was contemplating going out a bit more, doing a little bit of exploration videos, maybe hitting up some of the old sites to show y'all a little bit more into my story, maybe hit up some of the local haunts just to kind of go exploring a little bit more, just to get out and maybe shoot some raw material for the channel that I can reuse later for bigger projects, because y'all know I like to do that. But anyway, so remember how I said that my plan was to get something together, because the main thing that was kind of holding me back out of concern was car issues. Guess what? Decided to finally crap out on me. And well, I've had issues for a while. The repairs were going to be a lot more than I could afford, aside from some basic maintenance, to basically band-aid the situation until I can get something figured out. Well, some other financial shit came up, which set me back a little, but we're doing okay. I'm fine. No need to worry about me. But so for my more mechanically inclined audience, which y'all probably know a hell of a lot more about this type of stuff than I do, and probably could have fixed the situation by yourself for a hell of a lot cheaper than what it was going to cost me to take it to a mechanic. My brakes have been needing, brake pads and rotors have been needing replaced for a while. I think they've pretty much been needing it since I got the car a little over 5 years ago. And well, apparently the brake calipers were warped, and brake pedal went soft on me as I was trying to go to work. I was hoping it was just some random fluke. Went to drive home, noticed it was still going. What does this mean? It means when I went to stop my car, the car kept rolling. It would slow down, but let's just say if I was downhill, I was screwed. So I was forced to make a choice. I knew that I was going to have a lot of traffic, and I already had an appointment at a mechanic shop to get my car serviced anyway. So I decided to risk it, take advantage of the dead-ass roads at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I drove from my workplace to the mechanic shop, which was about 20-30 minutes, usual drive during nice weather. Dropped the car off at my mechanic's and walked the rest of the way home in all black clothing. So yeah, don't worry. Yes, I do live in a small town, but there's plenty of spots where, there's street lights and sidewalks, so I was fine. Shocked I didn't get stopped and talked to you by the police officer that saw me, but he probably just figured I was just some dork out for a midnight stroll playing Pokemon Go, which technically it was true. In that last part, I took advantage of the fact that I was walking around to play a little bit of Pokemon Go as a little bit of a de-stressor. Yes, I play Pokemon. I'm not ashamed of it. I acknowledge who the hell I am. I know who I am. Is that a rock chuck? I think there's a little rock chuck across the street there. And that is just a fat cat. Where I live, it's likely either. They like to come out about this time of year. So, in dealing with the car issues, I know I've had a history of kind of raging out, and some of y'all got bothered by that. Some of y'all stuck around. I question your sanity, but I do appreciate it. It seems like I want to say that y'all know that I had reasons for getting upset for certain things, that I wasn't just out here raging at random shit. And y'all, granted, a lot of y'all are almost old enough to be my parents, but like I said, I do appreciate it. But when it comes to like that, it kind of got me to thinking about life circumstances and things like that. How it seems like everyone is eager to jump down each other's throats. There's always some sort of infighting. In reality, it does nothing but raise blood pressure. Let's face it, no one knows what's really going on. We all want to think that we are on the right path. We want to think that we're decent people. We want to think that we want to feel some sort of control and superiority in a life that is purposely designed to be chaos. In light of trying to think a bit more positively about certain situations, I'm going to use my car situation as an example. I have family members who are willing to let me borrow their car so I can at least go to and from work. I had the appointment with the mechanics so I can just drop my car off in a safe location to get it looked at by people who are much smarter about car repairs than I am. It's Saturday, weather's nice, go fishing. Anyway, the weather was nice, so the walk wasn't terrible. I already had like a leftover drink and some snacks on me from just little stuff I got for work so I could stay awake and be okay driving home. And I think in this life, especially with everything that's changing lately, we lose sight of that. We lose sight of what is still good, what's still working in our favor. And yeah, while having car problems doesn't exactly sound like something to be considered lucky, I didn't crash. The roads were pretty much abandoned like something out of an apocalyptic movie, and I didn't get pulled over. So consider points there for luck. And it also comes to a point where these times of change are exposing vulnerabilities within us all, causing us all to want to feel defensive. And you have to be careful because there's some individuals who may have been pushed so far to where there is legitimate psychiatric concerns. I've been noticing a lot more signs of that lately. But also, there comes an annoyance when it comes to wanting to rally people together. How certain topics, New Age, ghost hunting, cryptids, UFOs, there's almost a religious type basis that's starting to form, and it is one of the biggest things that we are absolutely doing a horrible job of avoiding. And I'm speaking outright. I'll die on this hill if I have to. Because while one can argue that certain aspects of religion you can anticipate certain intentions were pure, meant to unite people, to tell people that, we're all still learning, be decent people. But as these ideologies grew, the intentions behind it became lost and twisted. And I feel when in these circles, a lot of the same is happening. History is repeating itself. Therefore, people are getting confused, lost. They're wanting to get defensive over certain things, feel like they got to correct certain things they feel are broken or wrong. And if in some cases, there's also almost a self-sabotaging ideology that if one has to resort to certain desperate measures, it means they're a terrible person. They screwed up beyond redemption. I'm here to say this. We need to acknowledge that this life is chaos. Some of the oldest ideologies in the world. That's often one of the first teachings. Life is suffering. It is. And it's how we maneuver the suffering which allows us to evolve. Some have accused that a lot of the religious undertones in New Age groups, spiritual groups, paranormal groups, all under those umbrellas, have started to develop hive mind qualities. And in some cases, you can see the point. But the thing is, we as human beings, it does not matter what theory of our origins you subscribe to, whether religious-based, Anunnaki, evolution, or some mix of all three, which I personally feel is the case. But that's just my thoughts. Every form of our evolutionary story involves us coming together within tribes. We talk about looking for our tribe, our soul family. And often, while tribe mentalities do reward individual good, do allow for individual skill to prosper, there's still that mentality where we want to look out for those we care about. We got to look out for the tribe. We express our own strengths, but we still got to look out for the tribe. We got to look out for each other. A lot of experts, when it comes to evolution, human history, historians, their consideration for the first signs of civilization often, I've used this example several thousand times, but it's a good example. The true origin points of civilization is healed broken bones. And what do they often mean by that? Well, when you look at a majority of animals today, they get a broken bone, they're often left for dead. It's brutal that I put it like that, but it's the truth. Caring for seeing signs of a healed broken bone either means the injury was not really that severe in the first place, that the individual was able to quickly figure out a way around it long enough for them to survive and for it to heal. But in a majority of cases, when it comes to certain broken bones, seeing signs that they were healed means that somebody else had to take the time to provide resources, to provide care, to provide food, shelter. And that sort of mentality, looking out for our tribe, is how we got over a lot of struggles. It's how we managed to make it this far. And it is also why corrupt individuals, why this idea of a false flag alien invasion is psychologically sound. Because everybody pretty much agrees that the one thing that's going to unite us quicker is to realize something big, something nasty is getting ready to come kick our asses. There's stories from ancient tribes all over the world that were essentially equipped with nothing more than bows and arrows and spears, able to take down much bigger, much more advanced beings because of this mentality. But it seems we also lost that willpower, that memory. And that's not something that we should allow, no matter the struggles. Because let's face it, whether you're having interpersonal conflicts with someone you consider a close friend, a lover, brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever the situation may be, you're stuck dealing with car issues, end of an era, or you're stuck maybe even Hell, maybe you're struggling as a single parent because you realize the significant other that you had the child with isn't who you thought they were. I know it's probably going to touch on a lot of people, but let's face it, it's reality. Everyone has something going on. And right now, more than ever, we need to acknowledge and be there for each other. That's the important part. As long as we can remember that, take our time to check in on one another, provide help where we can overcome just about anything. As far as me with my car issues, all the bonkers stuff, we have all sorts of new books. By the way, I do have one little bit of good news. My album, Beats Me But It Works, is getting physical distribution. It's actually going to be coming out on CD. It's not just going to be on streaming. And hence there may be classic vinyl, baby. Yeah, no, cheesy plug at the end of the video, but if y'all want to help out, send a few bucks, watch a couple videos, check out some of the merch. Y'all don't have to, but it would be appreciated. I'm going to try to get some better stuff put up so that way we can get this whole mess sorted. But you know what? Sometimes, the other point to making this, sometimes it takes us getting our ass kicked to do better. And right now my ass got kicked hard. Anywho, much love. Take care, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.